So 6 months from now, I'm still going to be looking back on this session and thinking about everything that I did wrong. I think that's kind of normal for DMs to do when they feel like they had a subpar session, but I would say that this was one of my weaker opening starts to a campaign that I've ever had. What I tried to do was give the players a sense of being new in this town that they've only ever heard rumors of and having never been there. And I think I just tried to throw too much at them. And as they were riding into town, each person saw different businesses. A lot of it was just mishandled. And it was too much time of me just talking and introducing the campaign. And I wanted them to feel like this was kind of any other day. And that, like it's just another group of these hopeful tag-ins coming in. All right, come in, get paid, get out of here. And just kind of being disregarded a little bit. And I don't think a lot of it landed as well as I would have liked. And I wish I would have had a more dynamic start to the campaign, because I've done that before and it's been awesome. This time, I think I just tried to get too cute with how I wanted the Crossroads to feel to this group that was moving in. And I just know that I'm going to be still thinking and regretting this opening to this session in a couple months. Welcome, adventurers and fellow world builders. My name is Yadro, and this is Yadro Gaming. Today, we're going to be talking about our very first session with the new group that we just started. I'm going to talk about how I prepped for it and what I expected to happen, what actually happened, and about the big lesson for the day. To get the good stuff out of the way first, the big lesson of the day is over-prepare for your first session and be prepared for whatever your players decide they want to do. They caught me a little bit flat-footed on this one, and I wish I would have had a little bit more prepped, but a little bit of it was just them messing with me. So I think we still had a pretty good time. So the session actually started off exactly how I thought. The players came to town. They met with Johnny Kamen, who's of the Kamen family. They kind of run the Crossroads. A bunch of big wigs own a lot of the businesses. They're ones that are kind of taken over. So they met him. They turned in all of their carts, and they got paid a little bit. They met one another, hung out back at the bar. They went back to Johnny Kamen in the morning, got their next little task so they could become official tag-ins, which would be to kill these basilisks and get the cart back. After they were successful in that, they proceeded to go into like every building in town. And they wanted to meet every NPC. They wanted to meet the store owners and get like a true lay of the land and everything that the city has to offer. I didn't necessarily plan for that. I didn't have everything ready and down on paper, so I had to wing a little bit of it and then take notes as I went so I could circle back to that later. But I wasn't prepared to them to be like so gung-ho on checking out the Crossroads itself. Now, I hate to say that people should prepare way more than what they expect, but this is something I probably could have done a little bit better of a job on. And a couple times I had to just say, like, we'll figure that out in the future. Don't worry about it right now. And the players were cool with it. And I'm hoping that they don't later complain about all the NPCs that they have to remember in all of the businesses, because I didn't tell them to do that. They decided to do it on the first session. I wanted a slow rollout so I could introduce these things gradually and they could learn about all the people in town that they could have a chance to talk to and meet. And they insisted on doing it in this first session. So I think we all learned a little bit. I'm going to try to give them a cheat sheet of that in our Discord server to make sure that they can keep it all straight. But they learned probably too much, more than they had to. So we'll see how that all plays out in the next couple weeks. So after they did a lot of their exploration on that, they were finally able to settle down and get into their vices a little bit. There was a lot of drinking, and there was a gambling event that we're going to see here in a little bit. One cool thing was they each got a chance to kind of settle down in the bar a little bit. It was kind of like they were at a conference and they had met people early on and they were like, oh, like I know you from the way in, right? You got paid with me. Like, why don't we sit down together and talk a little bit? And they had a really nice opportunity to introduce their characters and describe themselves. So let's check that out here real quick and we'll get to know who our actual party is.
Shadowcar. So I'm an elf, but I'm like fucking weirdly pale. Yeah, I've got a big obvious brand scar thing on my neck. It's probably the weirdest thing, and then very sunken eyes, dark hair.
His name's Jared. He's a drow. Not much of a talker, more of a listener. Can't say he is noble, but he looks noble. Let's just leave it at that. One with like lightning, clearly like black lightning going up his forearm.
Candy.
Hi y'all, I'm Miss Candy. I am a 5'4", warforged, huge tits.
Real or fake?
Huh?
Mission Warforged.
Big old purple wig, like a ceramic kind of face, so I look more human. However, you can just tell by my body. Smiling, just always in a good mood.
Yeah, Mongo hasn't spoken yet. He and he won't for now. But he's a half orc, but he tries to cover up his face like the parts that look distinctly orc. So he has like a head wrap on that like covers his mouth, like a ninja from Power Rangers.
Great example.
Just so we all know what's going on, but not like the scary one with like the eyes cut out. It's like this whole part is cut out. Yeah, he's also like 6'8". He's very tall, and he's just kind of menacing. And he has like a tiny little backpack that he carries with his little robes, and he's just kind of like going through his bag and trying to like pass out pamphlets for Dur that are like, "What god do you worship?" We probably have that up there somewhere.
She appears Caucasian, red hair, wearing green armor. You'll see glass inlays in her armor and shield a little bit. And she hasn't had any big mood swings yet, but you'll see like slight tone changes in her hair for color, just, as people speak and go around. Very wide-eyed, looking at the world with curiosity. She's definitely kind of poked at your shoulder a little bit, being like, metal?
Yeah, harengon, only about 2.5 feet tall, real short, named Penny Dunwitty, which she kind of doesn't like her parents for that because it rhymes and it sounds awful, so she goes by Pen. Real small rabbit folk, harengon, just by the look, like, I don't know if gullible is the right word, but just like super, like, this is definitely out of her comfort zone coming here and like doing these moves. She doesn't really know what money is because it's not really a thing they use. She's got like a sack with like some carrots in it. It just like definitely looks out of place. Probably will be riding on your shoulders if we'll let her because she's scared of being on the floor right now. Just all these big people walking around her. It's very strange for her.
So after everything was all said and done and they got a chance to actually calm down for the day, they decided to indulge their vices a little bit. We're just going to drink for the night, and I allowed them to make some carousing rolls, and they did some really good charisma checks on that, and they spent a little bit of coin to just kind of put some feelers out and see if anything interesting was going on in town. So kind of on the fly, I came up with a quest for them. And I asked them, like, what are you hoping to find? Like, what do you want to be able to do in future sessions? And one of them said they wanted to be able to fight something. So they wanted to be able to hunt a creature. I want to be able to, like, retrieve something that is lost. And then I want to meet like another important person, someone that we could like maybe get quests from for the future. So I said, great. All three of them knocked the checks out of the park. So they were going to get those three in the next session. And I came up with little side quests for them to do on that. Penny was a story unto herself. The little rabbit folk from the country came into town and decided to go on a gambling hot streak. Now the rules of this game are you have to roll 2d6 3 times and you can't hit a 7. If you hit a 7 in any of those rolls, you lose. And you have to like roll for how much gold you're going to bet, and that's randomized. And you put that down, your opponent puts it down, and then you're just trying to roll and not hit a 7. So it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, and let's see just how hot Penny's hot streak got.
I'm jumping right next to those guys just sitting there,
Okay.
and I put 12 gold on the table.
And he sees your bet there, and he takes out 12, and puts 12 more on the table across.
Go, Penny!
Go ahead and grab 2d6 for me. So you are rolling 2d6s. You just don't want to roll a 7.
Yeah.
That's it. You got to roll it 3 times.
7 is the single highest probability of 2d6.
Just don't roll a 7.
So we're ready?
Yeah, just roll 3 non-7s in a row.
7.
8.
Yeah, the crowd cheers.
Yeah! Harengon! Harengon!
8.
Harengon! One more round!
9.
9. Yeah! Because he like Maddie slams the table and he's like, whoa. Let it ride.
Let it run! Let it run! Only bet half
And I jump back on my shoulders. All right, him!
So if you're not willing, you just won.
Yeah.
This is your vice, yeah?
Yeah.
So you need to give me a wisdom saving throw to prevent yourself from letting it ride.
Cool, Penny, let's go! One more ahead.
15 plus something, so I think it was a 15 vice, right?
Yeah. You are able to walk away if you'd like to.
Can I just do the 12 again? 5.
Crowd cheers.
6.
Crowd cheers again.
7.
8.
All right, give me another wisdom save.
Wait,
Everyone starts chanting, let it ride.
I failed it.
You have to make 2 more rolls.
Oh man.
5. 3.
You win. Let it ride.
Nailed
Give
it.
me another wisdom save.
I failed.
Keep going.
9.
9.
When does this guy run out of money? The other guy.
10.
Let it ride.
How is this possible?
haven't
Let it ride.
yet.
I'm not chaotic, but I want so badly to just shout. They're
9. 5.
5.
Roll a wisdom save. Let it ride.
This is.
So
you
you
keep
keep
track
track
of how
of
many
the
wins?
totals here?
This guy is
I passed. 18 plus 1.
he is completely red and furious.
I'm up to like 100 gold.
Penny,
I would.
I'm gonna run out and be like, yeah, Penny, and play away.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pretend like I don't have a choice.
Did you make it or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I scoop up the gold for you and hand it to you as you get away from the table.
So it's pretty unlikely. I wasn't ready for that. I expected her to just do a short round, if at all. But she just kept pressing her luck. She kept wanting to do more. She got on this hot streak and didn't want to quit. And then her party members kind of removed her from the situation because I was clearly like egging them on that this was going to be a problem, that they were making this other Taggin really angry. They cleaned him out. He didn't have like any money left. And he and his buddies were getting to the point where they were going to act on it. So they were able to smooth that out. Afterwards, they bought drinks for everybody, the whole bar. They kind of talked to him and apologized and smoothed things over. But I was kind of hoping that they were going to get that, rivalry NPC out of it, but he seemed like he was pretty cool. At the end of the day, I'm really glad I planned for that, or at least had an idea of what kind of a dice game I wanted to have her be able to play on the gambling side of it. And I'm going to do a video about their vices soon. So one thing that I did work on in this session was I pitted them up against 2 basilisks. And typically basilisks are CR3 creatures, but I leveled them down to CR2 with a little bit of homebrew mechanics, and that just like lowered their AC, armor class, saving throws, and damage. I'm going to go over exactly how I did that in another video. But I also gave them in their favor. Johnny came in, and in addition to giving them money, gave them a couple like tinctures that they could use or balms to remove the stoned or petrified condition. And I did that just so they would have a little bit of insurance because they're level 1s, and odds are someone is going to be petrified. And then they also got a couple potions of poison resistance to reduce the effects of that poison bite that the basilisk had. So they were able to get a little bit of information about what basilisks can actually do and what they should look out for and how to avoid the worst parts of it. So even though they were up against 2 CR2 creatures, which is like a very deadly fight for a party of 6 level 1s, they had things in their favor where if they were smart, they could get out of trouble. They could prep for it on the front side. So, these basilisks were inside of a cave. They were able to draw the basilisks out and just fire at range mostly. Mongo got in there and got a little bit of his hands dirty. He was almost turned to stone. He succeeded on his last saving throw to get out of it. But he ended up killing both of them, I think. Was just covered in blood, and that was like a pivotal moment for his character where that's going to kind of define him moving forward. So I didn't necessarily expect it to be that easy of a fight, but they handled it. They worked really well together. They were slinging spells. They were giving each other advantage. There were some silvery barbs going on. And really they got through with barely taking any damage at all, other than Mongo. He did drop down to 0 health, but since he's a half orc, he could use his resilience and just get right back up to 1 HP. So really they were pretty much in control the whole time and felt pretty good about themselves. Well, I hope you liked the breakdown of our first session. We're going to have an interview with another player after this to get their input on it, see how they felt about this first session. I have a feeling it's going to be Penny with Kyle, just because I think she had such an awesome first session about that gambling streak that she had. So we'll probably hear what she thought of the campaign here coming up soon. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, why be a player when you can be a god?